The Punisher for the Sega Genesis is a game about the famous anti-hero with the same name as the game. Yeah, it's that guy who basically kills bad guys instead of locking them up in a crazy house like the completely impotent Batman. Put Joker in the Arkham Insane Asylum! But Batman, he's killed 5 people, and he already escaped from the insane asylum 20 times. Maybe we should just put him out of his misery. They'll put him in the insane asylum! The Joker is insane! He's not a murderer! I have to go wash my cape! Now, this game is actually a port from an arcade game, and as you'd expect, a port of an arcade game in the early to mid-90s that's going to a home console is going to be severely crippled, and it is. It doesn't look as good, it doesn't sound as good, they even censored some things in the home version. But comparing this game to its arcade version is not a fair review. I'm gonna review the game on its own merits as a standalone title, and if we do that, it's a pretty good beat-em-up. It's no Streets of Rage 2, it's no Streets of Rage 3, maybe it's a Streets of Rage 1. Now in this game you can obviously play as the Punisher, or else the game would be pretty misleading, but also you can play as Nick Fury from S.H.I.E.L.D. They play more or less identically, aside from their specials, which look different. You run right through every level, punishing the bad guys and also improving your score while you do it, and of course trying to beat the time in the top middle. You can pick up and throw things in the environment like potted plants or drums that sometimes hide food, or other things you can pick up and use in the game. It's basically 90s beat 'em up 101. Obviously, if you keep throwing punches, you perform combinations, you can also grab and throw the enemies, and you can pick up and use various weapons, both melee weapons, but also a lot of guns. It's cool to actually have a gun in a beat 'em up game. It's very rare for you to actually pick up a weapon and straight up kill a fool in a video game in the 90s. The bullets don't look like real bullets from the guns, but you're killing people. I mean, if you shoot someone with an automatic rifle 5 times, they're dead. I believe Isaac Newton wrote about this automatic rifle theory in his dissertation. A beat 'em up about the Punisher, you'd expect it to be darker than your average game, but it's not really dark, aside from the beginning story, which basically tells the story of the Punisher and how his family was murdered. The actual gameplay has a very lively and almost comical feel. There's a lot of bright colors in the game, and also the enemies are very cartoonish and wacky. Like at one point I'm fighting this guy with no legs, who's using basically this tiny little tank as a wheelchair, and then when I beat him up, he flies out of the tank and explodes! Is the Punisher holding that guy up by his dick? That really is punishment. I take it back, this game is dark. In terms of controls, it could have been a little better. There's a slight delay to the movement, and also after you beat up all the enemies on the screen and you're supposed to progress to the next screen, there's a slight delay to that as well, like the game is loading the next area or something. As I've said, it's not as good as the arcade this is ported from, but what game is gonna be as good as the arcade it was ported from, really? It's no Streets of Rage, it's no Golden Axe, it's not even a Final Fight, but it has its own unique place in 90s gaming. The Punisher for the Sega Genesis gets an official Stan Birdman rating of a 7.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.